Guys, every once in a while there's knives that just don't get the attention they deserve. And this ROSECRAFT ADJUTA is absolutely one of those knives. You can see it in front of you. It's absolutely gorgeous, but it is an amazing outdoor knife, and it's $75. I don't understand how it's not on everyone's channel at this point. So we're going to turn this around. We're going to take a look at this awesome knife that ROSECRAFT sent me for review. All right, guys, we're getting back around us. This is the ROSECRAFT ADJUTA, and this is a knife. I forgot to turn my lights on. Hang on. There we go. This is a knife that came to me from Savannah, also known as Swags, over at ROSECRAFT, and I am really pleased with this knife. It's pretty cool. We're going to do a spec sheet as soon as I can find one, and we're going to do a size comparison. So stand by. Your first knife for size comparison is going to be currently what's spending a lot of time in my pocket, which is my PM2. So you can see PM2 just a little bit bigger, not substantially. So your next knife for comparison is the Benchmade 940, a knife that most of you should have as a good size comparison. You can see pretty similar in size and uniquely enough, kind of similar in blade shape when you really look at it. And then your final knife, as always, is the Chris Reese-Benza Large, a 21. You can see just a little bit bigger than this ADJUTA. So let's get this out of the way and talk about this knife. Okay, so let's really get into this. Now, I do have to do like the Nick Shabazz disclaimer thing. This came directly from ROSECRAFT. Savannah sent this to me. So you can only imagine this is probably the best one that she had in-house. So I really do like this knife. You have a very, very nicely shaped blade. You've got this ARRPM9 steel blade that comes down to a clip point, but it's a short clip. So it's got a big belly on it. And it's ground relatively thin. It's not super thin behind the edge. It's not thick. It's just in that Goldilocks zone. And that really does show when you start doing a lot of cutting. So when you cut with this, it is a nice transition. The nice thing about this blade having that short clip is you do have belly, and you got a good bit of belly that you can get up on and use if you need to cut around things, if say you were doing some meat processing, skinning an animal, things like that for small game. But you also have got this huge amount of flat space that really works well. This bridges that gap between like a drop point and a Wharncliffe really well. You have a ton of flat. Hang on just a second. Sorry about that, guys. Somebody was just blowing up my phone. So what I was saying was like, yeah, you've got all this belly, but you also have all that flat, which really, really makes it an all-around super useful knife. It kind of bridges that gap. Like if you like a Wharncliffe, but you also like having some belly, just about the best design for that. And with it being nice and thin, definitely gives you the best of both worlds. The other thing is this is an ARRPM9 blade, and so this is kind of an outdoor design. And the nice thing about ARRPM9 is it strops up really, really well on just raw leather. So you can use your belt. You can just use a piece of newspaper wrapped around a block of wood. And one of the other really cool things is you can strop, if you cut in cardboard, you can strop it right back up on cardboard. ARRPM9 kind of gets a bad rap. It's a really good steel, in my opinion, really corrosion resistant, holds an edge really pretty decently, and it responds to a strop really well, and it's not hard to sharpen. And then this transitions back into some really well done handles. So you have this radius that goes all the way back. No jimping, by the way, anywhere on this knife, and I dig that. It gives it a nice smooth in-hand feel. So you've got these nice radiused handles that come all the way, radiuses from about here all the way down to the heel. And then you've got this swell here. It fills the hand really well, so it feels really comfortable, even though this is a very thin knife. That was one of the things that struck me when I first got it, was I was like, this knife is thin. So if you're a fan of a thin knife, I know that those are popular. The Narrows from Benchmade, which is way overpriced for what you're getting, is a relatively thin knife. This is another one of those really nice thin knives, but the fact that it's nice and broad gives you a very good feel. You've got a secure feel in hand as well, because you've got this big area where like two and a half of my fingers are on there, and you're pushed down in on this. And with it having no jimping, there's no hot spot there. There's no sharp spots anywhere on this knife. It's been processed and tumbled really nicely to knock off any sharp edges. It is a steel frame lock, which I know that puts a lot of people off, but it doesn't feel that heavy. It's not overly heavy being a steel frame lock. They've done a really good job here giving you lock bar access without making it feel too thin. It's not sharp at all there. And they've brought it down and you get a really good purchase on that. Detent on this is really strong. I'll mention that in a minute when we talk about the action. Scales on it, done in burlap micarta with orange pivot collars on black hardware, all black hardware everywhere, with a nice deep carry pocket clip that is not at all bothersome to me. It does not feel weird in hand. It's not uncomfortable in hand. I've noticed that these ones that happen to be a little bit wider across the back and then come down and thin down are more comfortable in this one. This carries super deep, so you can carry it well forward in your pocket. Now, action on this. You've got flipper tab and thumb stud. And a lot of people are like, oh, you can't reverse flick. Yes, you can. You can reverse flick right off of that thumb stud. It's in a very good position for that. The action on it is really good because it has got a strong detent. So with that strong detent, you're not getting super late lockup. You're just under, I'd say you're just under 50%, probably about 30% lockup on that. So you got a lot of life in that. And with it being a steel frame lock, you don't have to worry about some of the issues that you get in titanium. It's not going to snail trail anywhere as easily, and you can get a finish that looks very, very, very matching. So you can see there's almost like it's made of one piece of metal. So you get that consistent finish. Even when you do process titanium the same way, it looks different. So the other thing about this, it has got a really good pocket profile. It sits nice and straight. It does not take up a lot of pocket space, and it is thin. And like I said, even though it's steel, it's not too heavy. So it's got a really, really good balance. The balance on this is just at about the pivot. It just feels like a natural feel in hand. So there are a couple little, other thing. If you're a fan of lanyards, it's got a lanyard post and it doesn't have that big ugly hole in it. And I just want to look at that micarta a little bit. That is some really, really good looking micarta. It almost looks like wood, like an old wood table. I find it very attractive. Micarta is one of my favorite materials, especially well done, like burlap or canvas micarta. So there are a couple small things about this that do bother me a little bit, so we need to talk about those, but not before you guys hear from Coffee Brand Coffee, this channel's video sponsor. Guys, you guys know I love coffee. I even have my own personalized coffee mug. But did you know that a lot of the coffee companies out there take a lot of the money that you give them that they should be throwing back into the company to make a better product and turn it into activism dollars? Coffee Brand Coffee does not do that. They take no stance politically any direction. They take all the money that they make and try to make a better product. So if you want to support this channel and a company that I absolutely do like the fact that they don't lean either direction politically, check out Coffee Brand Coffee. There's a link down below that will save you 5% at checkout, or you can use the coupon code CrazySharp, all one word, capital C, capital S, CrazySharp, all one word. They also have cold brew coffee, teas, and cocos, freshly ground and roasted to order. So check them out, support them, and support this channel. So yeah, go check them out. Money back guarantee. Only a couple small things on this knife. And it's not the weight, but the weight, it's not necessarily the weight of the knife itself. It feels unusual. And I've heard people talk about this, like with carbon fiber knives, and I've never noticed it so as much as I did in this knife. And it's not a deal breaker. It's just something that I find that I don't like. I can definitely feel the difference from side to side. It definitely feels heavier and I mean, you've got a micarta side. So they could have done a little bit of weight reduction. I would have liked to have seen some weight reduction in the steel side to kind of even that weight distribution out, because you can definitely feel that it feels heavier from one side to the other when you've got it in hand. The balance just feels like it wants to fall over. It's not a horrible thing, and you get used to it after you carry it a little bit. It's just one of those things. Another thing, the thumb studs, while they are great and they're in a really good position, I mean, they're positioned great and the action off of them is really good. The thumb studs are a little bit sharp. They are a little bit sharp. They stand up kind of proud like that, and they are definitely sharper than a lot of other thumb studs. Now, I've got, you can see it. I've got calloused hands and thumbs. It's not such a problem for me, but I think a lot of people might find that, especially with that heavy detent, that they don't necessarily like the thumb studs as much. And then the final thing, I think I would have liked this better as a liner lock. I honestly do. There's a lot of times that frame lock knives really do appeal to me. On this one, I think that canvas or the canvas micarta on both sides would be great with the liners. It would solve some of your weight distribution. It give it a cleaner look. This is so attractive, and this is so plain. I would like to see a liner lock version that's all micarta, and then a steel version that's all steel. I think that would be cool. They could get away with a lot of weight reduction. I think I would like this a lot better if it was the same on both sides, because like I said, that is so attractive. And they did do such a good job with the finish and marrying the finish up on these that I think it just needs to be two separate versions. But I do have to say, absolutely do love this knife. It has spent a lot of time in pocket. And you can see one of the things that I did not mention, and I wanted to mention now, I like these knives that rotate down into this squat, into the cut kind of feel. It's definitely from the pivot, the way you're holding it, it drops down, and it's just really aggressive in the cut. So absolutely love this knife. If you have not checked one out, check out ROSECRAFT knives. This is the Adjuta. I forgot to put the maker's name, and I absolutely forgot it. I'll put it up here. So guys, that's it on this one. Let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, send you out about your day. So yeah, guys, this is a great outdoor style knife. I love this knife. It's kind of the perfect mix, and at $75, you really are going to have a hard time finding a knife that does a better job than this. I would like to see, like I said, I would like to see a full micarta version of this as a liner lock. That would be amazing. I think it would be just drop dead gorgeous, as good as the micarta is on this one. So you really can't go wrong. Guys, that's it on this one. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down, but tell me why I can't change the content if you don't tell me what you don't like. You want to support the channel, a lot of ways you can do it. I mentioned the Coffee Brand Coffee thing. They are a huge sponsor of the channel. They do a lot. They give me free product for giveaways and things like that. Go check them out. Use coupon code CrazySharp if you want. I would prefer you use the link. There's less errors with the link. There's some problems using the coupon code. But there's a money back guarantee. They've got some of the best coffee I've ever had. It's completely guilt-free because they do not take that money and put it in any causes that you might not agree with. I've got an Amazon store down below. You can take that, pin it to your browser, use it for any shopping you're going to do on Amazon. Supports the channel and doesn't cost you anything at checkout. And I have a membership. I would love to see more people take advantage of the memberships I offer. Everyone has access to the Gilded server. We have a lot of fun. I do giveaways on the Gilded server for the baseline and premium guys, and the premium tier members have access to a sharpening tutorial series here on YouTube that's behind the paywall. Guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video.